turning a normal press conference into a full-blown meltdown.
Don't say that, because that irritates me, and I punch blokes in the mouth for saying that.
Watch senators, prime ministers,
You mean?
and high-profile politicians reach their boiling points when face-to-face with the media.
You said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
For the consequences, they already are. And as far as CNN going out of their way to build it up,
Trump's very first press meet after winning the election in 2016 wasn't calm at all. It was fireworks. A dossier with wild claims had just surfaced, and Trump was fuming, calling it fake and unfair. Reporters kept pressing, but when CNN's Jim Acosta tried to ask a question, Trump flat out refused. He waved him off, pointed to someone else, and made it clear CNN wasn't getting a turn. That fiery showdown set the tone for how Trump would handle the press.
Sir, since you're attacking us, can you give us a question? No, Mr. President-elect.
Go ahead.
Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
Since you are attacking
No,
our news
not you.
organization,
Not
can
you.
you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are
is
attacking
terrible.
Fiery Aussie. During a press conference in Brisbane, Australian politician Bob Katter got instantly triggered when Channel 9 reporter Josh Bavis asked about Katter's Lebanese heritage and shot back that he punched blokes in the mouth for saying that.
Because that irritates me, and I punch blokes in the mouth for saying that.
Katter accused Bavis of being racist, while also defending his views on Australian values and immigration. Honestly, if I were the reporter, I'd maybe keep a safe distance next time, and a helmet handy just in case.
So if you say anything like that, I have, on many occasions, punched blokes in the mouth, right? So I'm restraining myself today.
Frustrated Trump.
And you know it. His son walks out with millions of dollars. The kid knows nothing. You know it, and so do we. Go ahead, ask a question.
During a White House briefing in October 2019, Trump was already on edge about questions on Ukraine. Reuters reporter Jeff Mason tried to follow up on a Ukraine-related question, but Trump wasn't having it. Pointing to Finland's president,
You ready? We have the president of Finland. Ask him a question.
he basically told Mason to ask something else. When Mason insisted, Trump got visibly irritated. He called the reporter rude and refused to answer, making it clear he only wanted certain questions. Classic Trump press moment.
What
did you want
Did you
him
hear
to
me?
Yes,
ask
sir.
him a question.
I will, but
I've given you a long answer. Ask this gentleman a question. Don't be rude.
Fiery exchange.
Should the defense secretary?
What country are you? Wait, what country are you from?
The UK.
Greene started off fine, answering questions smoothly and keeping her cool. But then Martha Kellner asked about the leaked Signal chat involving Trump officials, and suddenly Greene snapped. When she realized Kellner was from the UK, Greene leaned forward, pointed, and shouted, "Go back to your own country!"
Okay, we don't give a crap about your opinion and your reporting. Why don't you go back to your country?
Kellner hadn't asked anything offensive, just a straightforward question Greene could have answered. Instead, she turned a simple inquiry into a confrontation, waved off further questions, and walked away, leaving the press stunned.
Do you care? Okay, you're done.
Do you care about American lives being put at risk?
You know what? I don't care. I don't.
Service members fighting for your country.
I don't care about. That's what this is about today. Not journalists from the UK that should care about
a journalist is being vilified.
Briefing blow up.
Through the month of February, instead of holding rallies with thousands of people, why did you wait so long
Who are you
to
with?
warn them?
Who are you with?
And why did you not have social distancing until March 16th?
April 2020 started like any other White House briefing, but it quickly spiraled into tension when CBS reporter Wei-Jia Jiang pressed Trump on his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. Instead of answering calmly, Trump shot back, telling her to keep her voice down and relax.
That you didn't think
Keep your
it was
voice down,
going to
please.
spread?
Keep your voice down.
Jiang didn't back off, continuing to press for answers as Trump held his ground, turning a routine Q&A into a dramatic showdown. A heated back and forth, with sharp words flying and both sides standing their ground in the middle of the room.
Remember I said one person. How many cases were here when I issued the ban?
But
Tell
did
me.
you know?
No.
it was going
You have to do
spread
your
and become
research.
a pandemic?
How many?
I did my research.
Reporter roast.
She's shocked that I picked her.
No.
She's like in a state of shock.
Trump zeroed in on ABC reporter Cecilia Vega to ask a question, but before she could even get started, he tossed a quick roast at her, telling her she never thinks.
I know you're not thinking. You never do.
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
Vega was left in a split-second state of shock, trying to process what just happened. Trump then smoothly took over, answering the question his own way, while leaving Vega hanging. The whole moment played out like it barely even happened. 1 second a reporter's on, the next she's frozen, and Trump is already moving the show along.
How about talking about trade, and then we'll get to that. We'll do that a little bit later.
Do you think the
Anybody have a trade?
Do you
Go
think
ahead,
your trade
please.
deal will pass through Congress, sir?
I think so.
MTG vs CNN.
An apology. You lied about President Trump. You owe the people an apology. I've done mine yesterday.
After the House voted to remove Marjorie Taylor Greene from her committee assignments, she faced a swarm of reporters asking questions. CNN's Jessica Dean asked her about specific remarks she had made regarding House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Greene immediately refused to answer, saying she didn't answer Dean. Jessica kept pressing, and Greene repeated sharply that she didn't answer to her, clearly standing her ground. It was tense, direct, and very much a classic MTG media moment.
So again, simply just not responding to those specific questions. That specific statement is one that we saw House Democrats really zeroing in on. Of course, the threats of violence around House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and she simply would not answer that specific question if she still stood by those comments.
Climate clash.
That gives you the right to lecture us on climate change. I am going to lecture you on climate change.
The moment got tense when BBC's Stephen Sacker tried to put Guyana's President Irfan Ali on the spot about oil drilling and climate change. Ali didn't waste a second. He jumped in with a firm, "Let me stop you right there," pointing out that Guyana's forests alone store 19.5 gigatons of carbon. He even threw a subtle jab at the West for lecturing developing nations. The whole exchange had that electric, "don't mess with me" vibe, making it clear Ali wasn't taking anyone's lecture lying down.
I am going to lecture you on climate change because we have kept this forest alive that stores 19.5 gigatons of carbon that you enjoy, that the world enjoy, that you don't pay us for, that you don't value, that you don't see a value in, that the people of Guyana has kept alive.
Parliament WWE. Taiwan's parliament was supposed to be debating bills. Instead, it exploded into a free-for-all. Lawmakers dropped the speeches and went straight for fists, shoves, and even flying chairs. Some tried blocking the speaker's podium. Others stormed in to push them out. It was less about policy and more about raw power. In the end, the chamber looked less like a parliament and more like a battleground, with politicians proving they can throw punches just as fiercely as they throw arguments. Frustrated preacher.
Do you ever use your private jets to go visit your vacation homes, for example?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
That's what happens when you cross-question televangelist Kenneth Copeland. Reporter Lisa Guerrero asked him about his $36 million private jet and why he says flying commercials is like being stuck in a tube full of demons. Copeland tried to compliment her eyes, but Guerrero didn't let him dodge the questions. When he had no real answers, he got visibly furious, squirming, and flustered. The whole exchange exposed just how out of touch he can be.
You said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
Press clash. During a Canadian leaders' debate, rebel media reporter David Menzies tried to film outside the venue, but Terry Guillaume, working as a liberal media handler, had other plans. Instead of answering questions or walking past, Guillaume went full bodyguard mode and smacked the camera away. Not once, but twice. The clash turned chaotic fast, and Menzies ended up running to police nearby for help. The clip quickly went viral. Some saw it as an unnecessary show of force, while others argued it exposed the tense relationship between the liberals and rebel media. T for reporters.
Will you apologise for your
Would you
comments?
like a cup of tea?
Yeah, sure.
You go on, have a cup of tea.
Thank you.
When Boris Johnson was UK Foreign Secretary, he faced a flurry of questions about his infamous comparison of Muslim women in burqas to letterboxes and bank robbers. Instead of apologizing or even giving a serious answer, Johnson casually offered tea, as if a cup of Earl Grey could wash away controversy. Reporters pressed him, but he dodged every question with a polite smile, leaving them hanging. Honestly, if dodging tough questions were an Olympic sport, Johnson would probably take gold.
Humanitarian mission, because you've been here all day and you've been incredibly patient and I feel very sorry for you, because I have nothing to say about this matter except to offer you some tea.
Politicians fight. Things got absolutely out of hand on live TV in Georgia when two politicians turned a debate into a full-on water fight. Zaza Agladze, representing the Industrialist Party, kicked things off by splashing his opponent, Irakli Glanti of the State for the People Party, with a glass of water. Glanti didn't take it lying down. He threw water right back, and what started as a verbal clash quickly became shoves, pushes, and even a few kicks. The host tried to calm the chaos, but the cameras captured every moment of the absurd showdown. Aussie chaos. Parliament went full circus mode in Australia when Tasmanian Senator Jackie Lambie brought up social housing.
To paying for the social housing we know that we need.
Instead of listening, some colleagues decided it was the perfect moment for dog noises and growls, prompting Greene Senator Sarah Hanson-Young to call it out.
I don't think it's appropriate, given what has been handed down today, to have growling and dog noises coming from this side of the chamber while a female member in this place is on her feet. It happened. I don't know who is responsible for it, but it is inappropriate. And if we are going to change culture from the top, that means all of us.
Opposition leader Anthony Albanese didn't hold back either, telling Peter Dutton to sit down, boofhead.
Sit down.
I'm still hearing.
You sit down, boofhead.
Speaker Andrew Wallace had to step in, warning that the Parliament shouldn't turn into a political coliseum, especially on the same day the Jenkins report on workplace culture and respect was released.
I would call upon members of the House. As I said in my first speech as Speaker, I don't expect this place to be a monastical library, but the Australian public does not want to see this place descend into a political coliseum. And I would ask members, all members, to show that level of respect in this chamber as well.
Threatening reporter.
Before we let you go, since we have you here, we haven't had a chance to kind of talk about some of the...
I'm not speaking about anything that's off topic. This is only about the president.
Well, what about...
Thank you.
What should have been a normal post-State of the Union interview quickly turned intense. Reporter Michael Scotto asked Rep. Michael Grimm about a federal investigation into his campaign finances. Grimm snapped instantly. He stormed off camera for a moment, then came back, leaning in and threatening the reporter with extreme physical harm if questioned like that again. Later, Grimm admitted he overreacted and issued a public apology, probably realizing too late that his outburst had been fully recorded.
Why?
Let me be clear to you. You have to do that to me again, I'll terminate this.
I wanted to ask.
Question blocked.
Sites all over the place. These are all white farmers that are being buried.
President Trump.
And he asks about a jet that was given.
Things got tense in the Oval Office when an NBC reporter asked about a Qatari jet standing in for Air Force One during a meeting with South Africa's President Ramaphosa. Trump immediately snapped, clearly annoyed, and dismissed the question as a waste of time. He called out the reporter terribly, criticized NBC's coverage, and suggested the network's parent company might need scrutiny. Honestly, it felt like Trump just hit the next topic at the meeting.
You're such a bad reporter.
If they're committing genocide, why invite them?
Heated argument.
Republican in the country to put up against Barack Obama.
Jeff Zeleny of the New York Times pressed Rick Santorum on why he called Mitt Romney the worst Republican to face Obama, and Santorum blew up. He cursed, accused Zeleny of twisting his words, and fumed right there in front of the cameras. Zeleny stayed calm, asking follow-ups despite the outburst. Everyone was stunned at just how fiery a politician can get under pressure.
You guys in the business of doing reporting the truth? Are you here to try to spin and make news?
No questions. During the press conference, Trump was giving updates when a CNN reporter jumped in with a question. Trump immediately told them, "We haven't asked you to speak," and shut them down.
Mr. President, you won the White House in part because of high inflation. If your tariffs make prices go up...
Excuse me, we haven't asked you to speak yet, please.
The reporter was shocked for a second, clearly caught off guard. Trump moved on with his updates like nothing happened, keeping everything rolling. The weird, ongoing chemistry between Trump and CNN is always a little tense, a little spicy, and somehow never boring. Mike Heist.
Idea on the gender pay gap. Not everyone works for a corporation.
You know things are about to get messy when someone literally grabs the mic from a candidate mid-sentence. That's exactly what happened at the Big Ideas Forum in California when a protester leapt onto the stage and swiped the mic from Kamala Harris. The whole scene felt like a political blooper reel, with Harris keeping her cool while the protester got the spotlight they probably weren't ready for. Mic snatched, drama delivered. Slamming reporter.
Fortunately, nobody watches. Is anybody watching CNN nowadays? I haven't seen it in a long time.
A reporter stepped up to ask Trump a question. As soon as Trump asked which channel they were from and heard it was CNN, he instantly roasted them, saying they always ask negative questions.
Do you ever ask a positive question at CNN?
And that's why nobody watches them. But just like that, Trump handled the situation smoothly, didn't make a big scene, and gave his usual sharp answer in typical Trump style. The whole moment was quick, a little funny, and very much Trump being Trump.
I only want one thing. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Right. That's it. I'm not looking long-term, short-term.
Joe Biden memory.
One of the reasons you were not charged is because, in his description, you are a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
I'm well-meaning, and I'm an elderly man, and I know what the hell I'm doing. I've been president. I put this country back on its feet. I don't need his recommendation. It's totally out.
Former U.S. President Joe Biden got grilled by reporters about his memory and ability to lead. As the questions kept coming, his patience ran out. He shot back, joking that if his memory were really that bad, he wouldn't keep giving them the chance to ask the same thing over and over. He even took a moment to remind everyone of the good work he'd done as president. Personally, I think some questions were a bit too harsh for a leader to handle. Clinton confession. When Clinton finally stepped up in 1998 and admitted to the Lewinsky affair, the whole country stopped in its tracks. For months, he'd stood firm, denying everything. But when the evidence piled too high to ignore, he had no choice but to face the cameras and come clean.
I misled people, including even my wife. I deeply regret that.
His words were carefully chosen, but the damage was already done. That confession turned into one of the most unforgettable scandals in White House history.
Indeed, I did have a relationship with Miss Lewinsky that was not appropriate. In fact, it was wrong. It constituted a critical lapse in judgment and a personal failure on my part, for which I am solely and completely responsible.
Sudden outburst.
These foreign terrorists who have been terrorizing our communities. TDA is a vicious gang that has taken the lives of American women.
At first, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt appeared calm, addressing the room confidently and engaging with reporters in a composed manner. But everything changed when one question about the resumption of deportation flights struck a nerve. Triggered, Leavitt suddenly snapped and said, "Shame on you." She refused to entertain any further questions, turned on her heel, and walked away as if nothing had happened.
Illegal criminal aliens who have been wreaking havoc on American communities. And shame on you and shame on the mainstream media.
Trump versus reporters.
Number one, I am the least anti-Semitic person that you've ever seen in your entire life. Number two, racism, the least racist person. In fact, we did very well relative to other people running as a Republican. Quiet, quiet, quiet.
Trump held a really long press conference, around 77 minutes, to announce Alexander Acosta as his labor secretary. But instead of just going smoothly, it turned into a back and forth with reporters. Trump repeatedly told them to be quiet and sit down as he dealt with tough questions.
That was a good example of the smooth running of government.
Yeah, I do. Let me tell you about the
Were there any mistakes in that?
Wait.
The reporters kept asking, but Trump handled it in his usual sharp style. It was tense at times, a little chaotic, but also classic Trump. Quick comebacks, strong reactions, and the room buzzing with energy the whole time.
It seems that there's a disconnect there. If the information coming from those leaks is real, then how can the stories be fake?
No, the reporting is fake.
And if I may ask, I just want to ask
Jim, you know what it is? Here's the thing.
Kim Jong. For the first time ever, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un spoke directly to a foreign journalist. During the historic second summit with President Trump, Kim surprised everyone by taking a question from a U.S. reporter, a move that had never happened before. Cameras captured him listening carefully, pausing, and then responding thoughtfully. And all this for just one simple question. Somehow, a tiny Q&A moment turned into global headlines, making Kim look like an untouchable legend. Verbal beatdown.
Yeah, sure.
This guy? I swear to God, I don't know
you better hope
who
you're
you are,
deplatforming. Tens of millions of views.
InfoWars.
Bigger than Rush Limbaugh. He knows who info.
A simple question about Facebook and Twitter turned explosive when AJ confronted Senator Marco Rubio. Rubio immediately warned AJ, insisting he not be touched, while AJ mocked him, joked, and flexed InfoWars' massive reach. The exchange quickly escalated into a full-blown verbal showdown. AJ calling Rubio a little frat boy gangster thug.
You are literally like a little gangster thug.
There are people.
While Rubio tried to explain the fine line between free speech and misinformation. By the end, Rubio stormed off to a committee meeting, leaving AJ laughing and the audience stunned at how a tiny question sparked legendary chaos. No Epstein talk.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years.
At a cabinet meeting, a reporter tried to question Trump about Jeffrey Epstein and whether he had a list of associates. Trump immediately pushed back, clearly irritated, and made it obvious he didn't want to talk about Epstein. He turned to Attorney General Pam Bondi, signaling she could address it if necessary, and shifted the room's focus away from the topic. The moment was tense but short, and Trump quickly steered the conversation back to other matters. Inked face. Chaos erupted at Georgia's Central Electoral Commission when opposition figure David Kurtadze decided that words weren't enough. He threw black paint at the commission chief, Georgi Kalandarishvili, mid-meeting. Kurtadze raged that the election results didn't reflect the people's true choices. The ruling party had won, and this dramatic stunt only made the opposition look desperate, and now no one can rewrite official results. Biden unfiltered. A simple question about inflation set former President Joe Biden off in a way people didn't expect.
The only reason I don't like doing this is you never report on why I've called a meeting. And this is really important. I had a very, very, very good meeting, total unanimity with all the European leaders. We'll talk about it later. Thank you.
Thank you.
When a Fox News reporter pressed him, Biden let out a sharp, unfiltered remark, totally off the record. But the mic was still on. He quickly pivoted back to the event, but the moment had already grabbed everyone's attention. Biden's reaction cut through the usual politeness, turning a routine question into a mini headline before the event even moved on.
That's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son of a...
Wrong question.
As you well know, there are 4 Americans in Iran, 3 held on trumped-up charges, according to your administration, 1 whereabouts unknown. Can you tell the country, sir, why you are content?
A reporter tossed a wild idea at Obama about the Iran deal, and he didn't waste time. He shut it down fast, straight up calling it nonsense.
Major, that's nonsense, and you should know better.
I've met with the families of some of those folks. Nobody's content.
He laid it out, the deal stopping Iran from going nuclear. Even the usual skeptics agree. Messing with it now? Too risky, too messy. Obama wasn't attacking, just putting the record straight, like a pro who's tired of silly questions and wants to keep the serious stuff on track. Running Boris. Boris Johnson was out for a jog near his new country home when a reporter tried to get a word from him.
Mr. Johnson, have you handed in your old phone yet?
But he shut it down, saying he'd never interview here.
Never interview here.
And making it clear he'd only talk to reporters back in London.
Interview London. Never interview here.
Questions about the COVID inquiry and those WhatsApp messages? Yeah, not happening on this run. Johnson kept his pace, dodging the press like it was part of the workout. Shapiro outclassed. The tension was thick on BBC's Politics Live as Andrew Neil pressed Ben Shapiro on his past controversial comments and support for strict abortion laws in Georgia.
Is it that a bill banning abortions after a woman has been pregnant for 6 weeks is not a return to the Dark Ages? What's your answer?
Shapiro fired back, calling Neil a lefty.
Proceeding to call one side of the political aisle ignorant, barbaric, and sending us back to the Dark Ages. Why don't you just say that you're on the left? Is this so hard for you? Why can't you just be honest?
But it quickly backfired, leaving him scrambling for answers. The interview ended suddenly, and Shapiro later admitted he'd been completely overwhelmed. Fans online couldn't get enough of the moment, watching a confident pundit struggle under the pressure of some sharp, relentless questioning.
I'm not inclined to continue an interview with a person as badly motivated as you as an interviewer, so I think we're done here. I appreciate your time, sir.
All right,
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Shoe doge. You all remember that wild Baghdad press conference when Iraqi journalist Muntadhar al-Zaidi decided to make history by throwing his shoes at President Bush. Bush ducked like a pro. But the point was loud and clear. Anger over the Iraq War had a very creative spokesperson. Cameras caught the chaos as security scrambled, and the room froze in stunned disbelief. It instantly became, did that just happen moment, but definitely outclassed in footwear combat. Penn versus King. That Hillsborough Castle visit got unexpectedly chaotic when King Charles III found himself battling a rebellious Penn. The poor king wrestled with it like it had a personal vendetta. Muttering about how he can't bear this thing while ink splattered everywhere. Queen consort. Camilla had to swoop in like a Penn rescuing. The king suddenly felt very frustrated and strangely relatable all at once. Zuckerberg in trouble.
But it's clear now that we didn't do enough to prevent these tools from being used for harm as well.
Mark Zuckerberg found himself in hot water in front of the U.S. Congress after the Cambridge Analytica scandal shook Facebook. Millions of users had their data mishandled, and he had no choice but to apologize.
We didn't take a broad enough view of our responsibility, and that was a big mistake. And it was my mistake, and I'm sorry.
Lawmakers pressed him hard on what went wrong and how Facebook plans to stop it from happening again. For a guy used to running a social media empire, this was a rare reality check, and it definitely wasn't the like button kind of moment.
We need to make sure that people aren't using it to harm other people or to spread misinformation. And it's not enough to just give people control over their information. We need to make sure that the developers they share it with protect their information too.
Trump versus Greta. Donald Trump couldn't resist taking a jab at Greta Thunberg after her run-in with Israeli forces during a Gaza aid mission. Instead of sympathy, he brushed it off by saying she should join an anger management class.
She's certainly different. Anger management. I think she has to go to an anger management class. That's my primary recommendation for her.
Classic Trump move, mock first, ask questions never. But Greta wasn't having it. Fresh out of detention, she fired back in Paris, flipping the insult on its head. According to her, the world doesn't need fewer angry women, it needs a lot more. Now that's how you flip the script.
Well, I think the world needs a lot of more young, angry women, to be honest, especially with everything going on right now.
Nixon's denial. You all know the line that's stuck in history. Richard Nixon standing in front of the press in 1973, right in the middle of the Watergate storm. Reporters pressed him on money, taxes, and shady dealings. And that's when Nixon dropped the unforgettable line about not being a crook.
That in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook.
The problem? Saying it out loud only made the whole thing echo louder. Instead of clearing his name, it turned into the one phrase people remember him by. A desperate defense that aged like sour milk.
I've earned everything I've got.
Bush the devil.
En este mismo lugar huele a azufre todavía esta mesa donde me ha tocado hablar.
In 2006, Hugo Chavez stormed the UN stage and didn't just criticize, he went full throttle, calling George W. Bush the devil.
Ayer, señoras, señores, desde esta misma tribuna, el señor presidente de los Estados Unidos, a quien yo llamo el diablo,
he tore into U.S. foreign policy, the Iraq War, and meddling in Latin America.
En que el gobierno de este país, de Estados Unidos, no quiere la paz. Quiere imponernos su modelo de explotación y de saqueo y su hegemonía a punta de guerras. Quiere la paz. ¿Y qué está pasando en Irak? ¿Y qué ha pasado en 100 años, pues? En América Latina.
Making it clear he wasn't holding back. The words hit hard, shocked the assembly, and immediately grabbed global headlines. Chavez made sure everyone knew exactly what he thought. No sugarcoating, no apologies, just pure, fiery confrontation. Stop showdown.
So I need your license. You need to identify yourself.
No,
I need your license.
I don't need to identify myself.
Traffic stops usually last a few minutes, but for one city council member, those minutes turned into a headline. Newly released body cam footage shows the official, already facing election fraud charges, pulled over by police. Instead of handing over his license, he fired back with an attitude, demanding if the officer knew who he was.
You know who I am? I'm an elected official, and I know my rights.
Okay.
I'm a councilman.
That's fine.
The back and forth grew tense, with the councilman pushing his status while the officer stayed firm. What should have been a routine stop ended up as a messy confrontation, now fueling even more controversy around him.
And I thought you was taking, and I slowed down because I thought you was taking a right.
I need your license.
Interview twist.
Hello! Wonderful to meet you.
During a live interview at Russian Energy Week, Hadley Gamble tried to ask Vladimir Putin some serious questions. But instead of giving straight answers, Putin's remarks came off as dismissive and condescending. To make things weirder, Russian state media spun the story, suggesting Gamble was trying to distract him. The coverage got so exaggerated that the focus shifted almost entirely onto the reporter.
When you look at the big picture overall, they slowed every movement down to make everything look much more salacious than it was.
PMQ's throwdown. Jeremy Corbyn was having one of those PMQ's days where the tension could be cut with a knife. Theresa May throws a jab about his Brexit plan, calling it a Christmas pantomime, and Corbyn mutters under his breath. Lip readers and eagle-eyed viewers swear he mouthed, "stupid woman." Corbyn insists he said stupid people, but the internet had already grabbed the popcorn. Twitter, newspapers, and basically everyone else went wild trying to figure out if he really went there, or if May just imagined it.
I know it's the Christmas season and the pantomime season, but what do we see from the Labour front bench and the Right Honourable Gentleman? He's going to put a confidence vote. Oh, yes, he is. Oh, no, he isn't. I've got some news for him.
Email mess.
Respectfully, if that is your position, then I will talk only to white people about how we are going to deal with the very real problem.
Hillary Clinton finally addressed the email mess that haunted her 2016 run. She insisted she didn't do anything wrong, but admitted the whole situation became a huge headache. Using a personal email for government work sparked a political firestorm, and no matter how much she defended herself, it stuck with her campaign like a shadow. Even the smartest explanations couldn't shake the controversy, making it one of those scandals that everyone keeps coming back to.
No, I'm not talking about. Look, I don't believe you change hearts. I believe you change laws, you change allocation of resources, you change the way systems operate.
Snappy Senator.
What kind of question is that?
Well, no,
How do you know we don't have the votes?
I'm asking if you do, and I'm asking what the point, what the benefit of the delay is.
Well, the benefit of the delay is, that we have a chance to talk about the issue.
Senator John Kennedy lost his patience fast when a reporter tried to push him about calls to impeach DHS Secretary Mayorkas.
Wait, what?
By pushing this to Monday as opposed to doing this on Thursday.
He snapped, shutting down the questions with zero hesitation. The reporter stumbled through attempts to respond, clearly flustered, while Kennedy stayed calm, confident, and totally in control, showing everyone in the room exactly who was running the conversation.
There's nothing complicated about this. You either believe in the Constitution or you don't.
Access clash. Diplomatic meetings are supposed to be polished and controlled, but when President Trump sat down with Kim Jong-un, the sidelines told a different story. As U.S. reporters tried to get into the room, North Korean security guards moved to block them, turning access into a full-on tug-of-war. That's when White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham jumped in. She pushed, elbowed, and forced a path through the wall of guards to make sure American media got inside. The clash left her bruised, but also showed just how far she was willing to go to protect press access. Capitol confrontation. In the halls of Capitol Hill, Representative Jasmine Crockett found herself in the middle of an unexpected clash with journalist Charles Downs. As Downs tried to question her, the exchange quickly got physical when Crockett reached for his phone and tried to snatch it away. The scuffle left the reporter with visible scratches from her nails, and security staff soon separated the two.
Congresswoman Crockett, you were recently on a Tesla takedown call calling for violence on the 29th. Would you like to clarify your comments?
As you can see.
Congresswoman, will you condone violence at the Tesla?
What was supposed to be a routine hallway interaction turned into one of the most talked about confrontations between a politician and a journalist inside the Capitol. Tag trouble. In July 2018, Georgia State Senator Marty Harbin got pulled over for an expired tag. Right at the start of the stop, body cam footage shows him promising to call the mayor.
I won't call Eric Dow, but I'll call the rest of them. But I pay my bills. This will not go over well.
The incident didn't end there. Harbin later introduced a bill aimed at changing how expired tags are handled.
Kept that out of it, because I think it's not about me. It's about my people and the people that I represent.
The proposed law would let drivers fix the issue before court and avoid having their cars impounded. People couldn't stop talking about it, with many wondering if he was bending the rules for himself.
You're not the only one this happens to. So,
yeah, but I'm just saying
it's not like we're picking on you.
The law's wrong in that respect.
Okay.
And I'm not mad at you.
That's what I mean. We can't change the law. I mean,
I can't.
But that's you.
Savage encounter. Back in 2018, at a ceremony in Paris honoring Wabawajoti resistance fighters, a teenager thought it'd be funny to greet President Emmanuel Macron with a casual "Hey Manu." Macron didn't appreciate the laid-back nickname one bit. He reminded the teen this was an official event and insisted on proper respect, saying he should be addressed as Mr. President or Sir.
Tu es là, dans une cérémonie officielle, tu te comportes comme il faut. Donc tu peux faire l'imbécile, mais aujourd'hui c'est la Marseillaise et le chant des partisans. Tu m'appelles Monsieur le Président de la République ou Monsieur.
When the boy then tried to sing a revolutionary tune, Macron cut him down further, warning that before leading any revolutions, he should focus on finishing school, getting a degree, and learning to take care of himself first.
Voilà, c'est bien. Et tu fais les choses dans le bon ordre. Si le jour où tu veux faire la révolution, tu apprends d'abord à avoir un diplôme et à te nourrir toi-même. D'accord? Et à ce moment-là, tu iras donner des leçons aux autres.
Tug of war.
If I may ask
Peter,
one
go
other
ahead.
question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's
Mr.
enough.
President, I
That's
was
enough.
going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr.
Excuse
President.
me. That's enough.
During a White House press conference, CNN's Jim Acosta kept pressing President Trump with follow-up questions. Trump clearly wasn't enjoying it, and in a split second, a White House aide swooped in to take the microphone away. Acosta held on, the aide tugged, and suddenly the spotlight shifted from questions to a mini tug-of-war over a mic. The scene played out live in front of every camera in the room. Afterward, Acosta's press pass was suspended for a while, but later on, his access was restored. New Year's snap. Pope Francis was all smiles in St. Peter's Square on New Year's Eve, until one overzealous fan got a little too grabby. As he reached out to greet a child, a woman yanked his hand toward her, and the late Pope didn't hold back. With a swift slap, he freed himself. He later apologized, and that was the best he could do. Racism.
Why are you in my country? Why are you here?
Yeah.
Yeah, why are you in America? I don't like you guys here.
Oh,
there's too many of you guys here.
In a parking lot, an Indian origin man was suddenly confronted by a stranger who launched into a racist tirade. The man was told he didn't belong, accused of taking over the country, and ordered to go back to India. The harassment was loud and aggressive, but instead of firing back, the Indian man chose calm. That measured response turned the moment into something bigger, a quiet act of strength in the face of open hostility.
Why are you in my country? Why are you here?
Yeah.
Yeah, why are you in America? I don't like you guys here.
Oh,
there's too many of you guys here.
Chamber outburst.
Not the American way. These bills that come out here all the time come out here at the last second, and I gotta try to figure out how to vote for my people. You should be ashamed of yourselves. I'm sick of it. Every year.
Some debates get heated, but this one in Illinois turned into pure theater. Lawmaker Mike Bost, frustrated over pension reforms, lost patience in spectacular fashion. He shouted across the chamber, slammed his desk, and hurled papers into the air like confetti at a parade. Except no one was celebrating. His fiery display turned the chamber floor into a storm of scattered pages, a physical snapshot of his boiling frustration.
I'm trapped by rules that have been forced down our throats. Folks, we live in a democracy, but not here.
Award ambush.
Joshua Gallardo.
It's my line.
Can you come down for a second? You probably don't remember me, but you're the police officer who falsely arrested me 4 years ago. You lied on the police report. I believe you're a rogue police officer, you're a bad police officer, and you don't deserve to be here.
Award ceremonies are usually about applause, handshakes, and polite smiles. But in Tamarack, Florida, one deputy walked into a spotlight that turned scorching. Deputy John Gallardo had just been handed a Deputy of the Month award when City Commissioner Mike Geelan stepped up. Instead of praise, Gellin brought confrontation, dragging up a past incident right there in front of everyone. In seconds, the room shifted from celebration to shock, and the award in Gallardo's hands felt less like an honor and more like the trigger for a very public reckoning. And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. Trump got instantly triggered when the reporter asked about his past shady digs at Black Americans.
My question, sir, now that you are asking Black supporters to vote for you, why should Black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
But being Trump, he didn't really answer the question. Instead, he knew exactly how to flip the script. He pivoted hard, claiming ABC was a fake news network.
Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network.
And throwing shade at the reporter's ethics, turning the tables completely. What started as a tough question about his record ended up as Trump putting himself on the defensive, and somehow making it all about how unfair the reporter and network were. Classic Trump. Dodge, deflect, dominate.